Hi guys, it's Megan again, and this month we are in month 8. This is our last month we're making blocks for our mystery block of the month, and this is the block we're making this month. It's the Indian Lake block, and it has a lot of really cool techniques in it that I think you're going to like. We've got a really neat use of square squared in a couple of places, and we're also going to use our Tucker trimmer. Okay, so that's the block. And here is what's in your kit this month. You've got a strip of, this is navy grunge. Your fabric may also look like this, but anything that isn't a navy with a print, that's your navy grunge. Okay, so you've got some of that. This is the turquoise fabric. Okay, it's got some fingerprint, it looks like somebody got fingerprints all over it. This is your navy print. Okay, you might also have the one that has the detective faces on it or something that looks like a grid, but anything that has a definite print on it is your navy print. You've got pink, okay, and you've got background fabric, which is light peach. And you could have this, you might have something that's a little more grunge looking, but it's definitely peach, okay? To make this block, you're going to need your Tucker trimmer. We're going to use that a whole bunch. We're going to make half square triangles and quarter square triangles. And you're going to need your square squared rulers, which I have both of them here, part A and part B, okay? So I want to tell you real fast, I'm going to bring the block back up here. There's basically 3 different blocks here. These here, those are called the corner units, and that's what we're going to cover in this video. These, I believe I called the middle units because they're in the middle of these rows, and this is your center unit, okay? So this is a square squared block, and this is the center. These are the middle. I know that's a little confusing, I'm sorry. And these are your corner units, okay? Okay, so first we're going to focus on the corner units. Okay, and they look like this, and you're going to make 4 of them. And you need pieces A, B, C, D, and E, all right? So A and B are each 3-inch squares, and you've got a whole bunch of them. C and D are both 2.5-inch squares, and E is a 4.5-inch square, all right? So the first thing you do, the very first thing you do is you're going to take all of the A's and all of the B's, and you are going to make 32 half square triangles. Okay, so these guys, A and B, become 32 half square triangles. And on your Tucker trimmer, you are going to trim those to 2.5, which makes sense because your other blocks that you're going to use are 2.5. Okay? Once you've done that, the trickiest part of putting this block together is keeping the half square triangles oriented correctly, okay? Because you'll see these go this way and these guys go this way, and that's really important. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew this little row together, this half row. You're going to take one of your half square triangles and one of your 2.5-inch background squares and sew those together. And then you're going to sew your half square triangles below it together. Okay, so sew these guys together, sew these guys together. The pressing directions are in your instructions, okay, which direction to press everything. And once you've sewn those 2 short rows, you sew that together to get a block that you sew to this big 4.5-inch square, okay? And again, pressing directions are in your instructions. After you've sewn those guys together, then you're going to sew your next row together, which is a background square, a half square triangle oriented this way, a pink square, and a half square triangle oriented the other direction. You can sew this together, these 2 and these 2, and then sew it together, but I will be very honest with you. I found it easier to sew this to this, and then add on this square, and then add on this square, because otherwise it's really easy to get your triangles turned, and then you end up with them the wrong direction. So that was how I sewed it together, 1, 2, 3, 4, or the other way is fine as well, okay? Then your bottom row, everybody is turned this way. Here's my other one, with a pink square in the corner, okay? I did the same thing again, 1, 2, 3, 4, sewed them together in a row. Then again, follow your pressing directions that are in your instructions for the month. I sewed these 2 rows together and then I sewed them onto here, okay? And again, you're gonna make 4 of these, and then what you're gonna do is turn them different directions to get them into the corners of your block. So that's how you make this square. Start out making a bunch of half square triangles and then just follow the pictures and directions, follow the pressing directions in your instructions. All these little arrows, okay, show you which way to press. And then when you're done, you're gonna move on to make the middle units.